Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to ThetaTalks. My name is Maisha, and yes, this is Tuesday again. So, if there are any issues with seeing us or having issues with our technical issues, please do let us know so we can fix it. I think last time we had a little bit of technical issue where nobody could see us really. So I hope everybody can see me. So our topic today is on your heart desires and what your soul really wants. It's a very, very interesting topic. I'm sure a lot of you are coming in because you have this calling today, right? To be here. So if you are here this evening, whether it's live or watching the recording, well, it's your soul calling you to listen up to the messages that it's sending you tonight. So I hope that everybody does get something out of this very beneficial talk, very enlightening talk, so that it brings you closer to your soul's desires and what your soul's meant to do here. So, meanwhile, I wanted to recap a little bit about what we talked about last time, which is about how we look at other people's wants and desires ahead of us. We tend to people please. And when we tend to do that, it is also a reason why we may not be able to connect to our soul's purpose. So this topic really ties in with what we did last time, what we spoke about. When you realize that what you're doing is to please everybody else and not yourself, and when you're able to free yourself from that, the next step is to really understanding what you really want. And when we talk about you, what does this mean? You know, what does you mean? Are we talking about you as in me, as in Maisha? Or are we talking about our soul's purpose? So this is what we're here to explore and discuss today, and getting you a little bit more clarity on that, because sometimes you may get a little bit confused with, but this is what I want, but am I really aligned, right? So in this segment or in this episode, we're going to bring you more clarity. And a good question to sort of pose yourself or ask yourself to actually know this is, if I could do something where I could not fail, right? Failure is not even in the picture. Or if I could do anything that I want where no one judged me, where I didn't feel the question of, will people judge me? So there was no judgment and I could not fail. And if I had unlimited resources, because a lot of us tend to get caught up in the grind. So a lot of us get caught up in the grind of, I need to work or I need to earn money. And it kind of moves away from that concept or that idea of doing what your soul actually wants, right? So if your resources was unlimited, what would you choose or what would you do? Hello. Now, everybody else, can you guys see both of us? Just checking today.
Yeah. We're having some
Okay.
weird technology things, right? With Instagram lives, like just weird stuff have been happening for us.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, is it just us? Like, what's going on? Okay, so I was just doing an intro about the topic, and I posed a question to everyone. I sort of did a recap about how we talked about people pleasing last time. And now, if we don't have to please anybody else, and that allows us to really understand what we want and what our soul really wants. So it really ties in with what we did last week.
Mhm.
Um, so the question is, right, if whatever you did, it couldn't fail, whatever you wanted to do, if no one judged you, And if all the resources was available to you,
Right.
unlimited, what would
Right.
you actually do? Because a lot of us are tied to a lot of social, economic, these are how we make decisions in our life versus is this what our soul really wants? Right? So this is a good way to ask yourself or to kind of
Mhm.
get an awareness of understanding of if none of this was an issue or if none of this was a question mark, what would you actually do?
Right. And so are we asking our
So it
listeners
is a self-reflection, right?
self-reflect?
Basically. And
Yeah.
I want to go into a little bit more detail in in our episode today about understanding what is the difference between what I want and potentially what my soul wants, right? Because some people might get that a little bit may not be clear or it may not be something that they can identify,
Right.
right? So this one question can give you a little bit of awareness, but I suggest we can start with putting a little bit of clarity on what's the difference, right?
What's the difference between,
What I want versus that idea of my what my soul wants, my desires versus my soul, and how we can identify that difference.
I mean, that's such a great question because I don't think it's a question we really ask, right?
Mm,
It's not really a question we say, well, what does my soul want versus what do I want today? You
yeah.
know, that distinction isn't there. But I think that the more you come from a place where you and your soul are aligned, right? Where both
Mm,
of you are kind of in unison,
mm,
right? You will follow a path that you were naturally meant to go on anyways,
yeah.
right? So what you want and what you're meant to do are pretty much the same thing.
So I think
Haven't-
easy and flowing is one of those things that you
Yeah,
can kind of see that you know that this is in sync, right? What do you think?
yes, I agree. Like it's easier. Having said that, I don't think it's as cut and dry as
Mm,
we think because I think I've always followed my path, right?
mm,
I would say in the last 15 years, I have definitely followed my soul's calling. But has it been easy over the 15
mm,
years? I wouldn't say that. Every
right.
time I had to move to like my next level and I had to stretch out of my comfort zone, it was not freaking easy,
Mm,
right? And usually I'm in a class at that point, working through all the blocks that are coming up as I'm making my next big leap, or I have to book a session with
mm,
somebody that I respect in Theta Healing, you
mm,
or somebody else who I might need to work with because I am now hitting my own kind of
right.
challenges. So I can't say it's always easy,
Mm,
but I will say it is very effortless. You know what
mm,
I mean? As in, I don't have to put effort into walking the path. I don't think you will have to put effort if you
yeah.
are soul aligned, right? They use that word quite a bit.
Mm-hmm,
Soul aligned business, soul aligned choices. So I think there is a lot less effort
mm-hmm,
and definitely a lot less stress, and it's
yeah.
definitely a lot easier. Now, is it easy, period? Probably not, because
Mm.
every time you're going to move forward, every time you're going to take that next do that scary thing that is, something that you must do, you're meant to do, but it's something you've never done before. It can be terrifying,
But
right?
I like how you tie that in with I did my anytime I get to that place, right? I need to kind of work on myself or, connect with somebody and have that resource available so
Correct.
that it makes it easier for you to take the next step or the awareness is there,
Yes, I will
right?
take it. I will
Mm,
take it.
yeah.
How easily I will take it. Will I be kicking and screaming all the way to my next step? Will I just be at peace? What will be my state of mind is
Mm,
determined by how much I'm going to work on releasing whatever's getting in my way,
And
right?
I think what I hear from you, right, is that, you said the last 15 years, right? What I hear from you is in those 15 years, your soul's desire or that clarity of what your soul wants has been steady and consistent. It
Always.
is not wavering, right? So I think
Yes.
that's also something that we need to understand, that if it's soul aligned, it's not something like today I want to eat this and tomorrow I want to do that, and next year I want to do something else, right?
Right.
Is that also
Definitely.
something
It's very
that is,
clear,
yeah.
but I also will say, and I'm throwing in a lot of buts, Maisha, in our conversation today. I think it's because
I
I'm
hope at
going.
the end of the day people can have that clarity. But yes, please
Yeah,
go.
I am because I'm going through a lot of
Yeah,
stretching
you
right
are.
now.
Yeah.
I am going through a time where I have to do something that feels really out of my comfort zone,
Mm,
and it's hard. And, I am feeling all that stress, and I had to do work on myself last night. I did. I sat down because, it was a holiday weekend here. So I found myself very ill at ease with
mm,
myself because I was thinking about an upcoming deadline, and I had, some stuff that I had to, some stretching to do, and I was feeling the pressure. And I
mm,
was really like feeling, I was actually talking to a colleague of mine. I'm like, I think this is anxiousness, what I'm feeling. Like, I don't feel anxious, but I think this is anxious. She's like, yeah, it sounds like low level anxiousness about this thing that you have to do, which
yeah,
is like your next level. And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah. And you know what? I don't like it. And
yeah.
I'm gonna go, like, after our conversation, we were on a Zoom call last night. I'm like, Karen, after our conversation, I'm going to do work on myself. Like
Mm,
every time that realization hits, ooh, I am not feeling good right now.
mm,
I need to
mm,
do some work. So I did some work on myself last night. And you know what?
mm,
Today, I'm like just so relaxed, so calm. And something came up again, which added more pressure on me.
mm.
But I was like, I've got this. So it really is something you have to keep kind of addressing and working on, which is your own limiting blocks, the barriers. I actually just today also told a client who I was working with because it was a quote that was just so fitting. Rumi, I know I'm going to botch up this quote because I have to do it from memory, but maybe you can look it up. Oh no, you won't be able to. If your laptop's there, if you can look it up for me, Maisha. If not, we can post it later. But like Rumi said, the poet Rumi, who I love, said something about the only thing we have to do is remove the barriers against love that we have built within ourselves.
Mm.
Something that, like, that's what it is all our blocks and barriers are within ourselves. And
Yeah.
really, all we have to do is remove them so we can grow and move and get to our next level and start living a life that feels so much more soul aligned.
So let me read you the quote.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I hope I didn't embarrass myself. How close
No,
or
no,
how
I think you're
far?
pretty good. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it.
Yes.
Rumi.
So I was working with a client and I said, "Oh my God, this quote is just perfect." So I
Mm,
looked it up quickly, and I shared it with her at the end of the session because it was just really appropriate for what we were working on. And then I was reflecting over it because that's a quote I've heard and used several times, and
mm,
thought to myself, that's what living a purposeful, soul aligned, committed life is about. Is you're living a life where you are constantly removing the barriers that allow you to manifest, to create, to attract whatever you want, right? So I want to get to point A, I want to get to point B, I want to get to point E, whatever that looks like. Is it a partner? Is it a loving family? Is it financial wealth? Is it safety and security? Whatever that might be. You don't need to go and work on those things. You don't need to go and find those things. All you have to do is go within yourself and do that inner healing work and remove the barriers that you've built
Yeah.
with yourself that are not
Mm,
allowing you to have what you want.
right. And I think in order to recognize that and see that and reflect within ourselves, for some people might be a little bit challenging or tricky, right? And so if you want to actually be on that soul aligned path, right? It's something that is um like I was talking about earlier, it's like you being and knowing, I guess, that the end goal is going to feel very aligned. Does that make sense? To getting to that space? It's like you have to, in order to be aligned with your soul's purpose, right? You're going to be off alignment a little bit to get back on track sometimes, right? And you have to like stick it out and know that at the end of the day, right? It is something that is going to give you or feel very right and very like you've arrived, that kind of feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there has never been a doubt in my mind. And I would say I've heard the same thing from my students, from clients that I've coached, that once you have that inner connection and alignment, you've done a lot of healing work, again,
Mm,
to remove the barriers and the blocks, you'll find that you won't waver, you know?
yeah.
It's not like you're running, in different directions. It's a clear path. But, and this is what I wanted to actually say earlier, so this is perfect that I can bring this in now, is it's like when you're driving in the dark and
Mm,
you've got headlights, right? And the headlights will only show you what's kind of in front of you, but not the
mm,
whole path.
yeah.
So it will feel like you are driving with your headlights and you can see as
The
far as you
next,
can see,
yeah.
but it's only going forward on that path that more gets revealed to you. You won't
Mm,
have all the answers in the beginning,
right.
but they will come along the way and it
Mm,
will get clearer and clearer. And here's another thing that I've shared, I think, with you, Maisha, and with some classes that I've taught in Theta Healing is it's it's like there comes a point when you've done enough work on yourself, right? There comes a point where you can see your present and your future intersecting like
mm,
almost at the same time. Like
mm,
I can sit here and I can see, like I'm looking at a movie,
mm,
what my future looks like.
mm.
Maybe 6 months from now, 1 year from now, whatever gets shown to me. But the point is, I can start to see with my eyes open what my future looks like, right? And it feels as real to me as this present moment, which means my brain has already accepted that that is my reality that is coming. That is the
Right.
reality that I am going to be moving into or walking into. It's already a
It's
certain,
like you're manifesting at the same time as the path that you're walking. You're like walking and you can kind of see it and it's showing up for
and it's
you.
created already, right?
Yeah,
It's
and it's
created. So
created.
I know that what the future I'm walking into looks like,
Mm,
right? Because in my eyes, it's already been created. I see it
mm,
as real.
yeah.
So my manifestation is now very real
Mm,
as a future that seems inevitable,
yeah.
right? And this only comes, and I'm sure you've had similar experiences, Maisha, where this only comes when you've done enough of that removing the barriers within
Yeah.
yourself, right? That are not allowing you to.
Hmm.
So yeah, anything, that this brings up for you, anything this um
I think
triggers.
what it really brings up for me is, every single day that I do or meet clients or I teach, I get to do what I love and I'm aligned with my soul. And it's such an incredible feeling because for me or for us, it has a higher purpose than just us. I think things that are very soul aligned, it aligns for the higher good. It feels like something that you can help, not only yourself, but help others, right? That's what I feel is very soul aligned with people and what they've told me about what we've worked on in terms of their healing, how we kind of know that this is kind of the right track, because a lot of us have this urge to want to help others or do things for, other people, the environment, or whatever it is, right? So for me, I'm so blessed that I get to do this every single day because, you know, when you change or help one person, you're not just helping that person, you're helping the people in that family, right?
The
You're
ripple.
helping. It's a ripple effect. Those people, like, that person that's going to feel great after your session will be really nice to his secretary. And his secretary is going to go home and she's going to say, let's have a treat today, guys. My boss was really nice to me. So not that I have those kind of clients, but the point is, it's such a ripple effect, and it feels so lovely. It feels so empowering. It feels so nice to be able to do that every single day. So, when you talk about it's not easy, we worked on so many things to get here, right? That really shifts my perspective, or not even shifts my perspective. It sort of reminds me, oh, yeah, you know what? I did all the work to get here. Sometimes we forget, right? Sometimes it's just like we jump from here to here. Like I have clients who join my class and say, how long did it take you to become really good at digging or to get to where you are, right? And my answer is, it's like a lot of people get there very quickly this day and age, right? And then you don't think that, oh wow, it took me, 12 years, or it took me that, to get to where I am now. So it's a very it's not a negative thought that I'm having, but it's more like thank you and gratitude to myself for going through all of that. Sometimes we need to acknowledge and say, I see you. You did that. Wow. Good job. So I'm just giving myself a pat on the back. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
doing.
Absolutely. You deserve a hug. You deserve like,
Mm,
to really acknowledge yourself for how far you've come. I mean,
yeah.
this is what soul aligned looks like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It
Yeah.
looks like I'm doing what I know I'm meant to do. I'm
Yeah.
doing
A
the
sense of
work.
destiny, right? There's that feeling that I came, like you said, I came here to do this.
Yeah.
And, to be like in that space is beautiful.
I remember one thing that I've said a number of times before, that when I came on this kind of healing path, I didn't intend to. I didn't
Mm,
need to. It just sort of naturally happened, right? And there were so many things I said yes to and I did that my brain didn't choose to do it. It's not like my brain was like, oh, we're going to do this next and this next and this next. It was just kind of like I found myself in the next step and the next step and the next step, and things were falling into place, and all the support and help and people were just showing up literally at my doorstep. And it felt like I wasn't really, making choices actively. It was almost like the carpet was just being unfolded, like the
right.
red carpet is just rolling itself out, and I just had to walk on that red carpet. That's what
Mm,
it felt like, is it didn't feel like effort. It didn't feel like strategic planning,
mm,
5-year plan kind of stuff way back then. It just felt like I just kept saying yes to
mm,
myself, to the opportunity, to the people who asked for help. I just kept saying yes because my heart just felt like that's what I should do. I didn't think. And it's so like fitting that I'm saying this today because I have been wanting to learn how to play tennis for a long
mm.
and somehow I have not found the right trainer or time, whatever. It's just something that has not happened. It's just a unfulfilled desire to one day wear a cute tennis skirt and have my racket, you know. I
That's why I do pickleball. That's
So
my
you can
conversion.
wear like
The skirts.
the skirt, seriously, I like, sometimes I go onto these sites where I'm shopping for like my yoga or Pilates was wearing. I was like, oh my God, I wish I could buy this like tennis outfit. It's so cute, but I don't play tennis. Anyways, that's just the more, human side of me that really wants that experience. But finally, I think I said to myself recently, like, I am just gonna do it. I need to just take action and start playing tennis.
Which is what? Buy the skirt? Oh, play tennis.
Play
Okay.
tennis. Skirt next. And then I was talking to a friend of mine who said something about tennis, or turns out she's doing tennis classes every week. She was like on her second class. And I was like, oh my God, I totally want to do this. And it is something that fit right into my schedule. And
Amazing.
it's at the court 5 minutes away. And today I went for my first tennis lesson. Now
Wow.
I used to play badminton as a child.
Ah, okay. So you have
So
racket
I,
experience.
I do have some experience. I played
Yeah.
table tennis, but never tennis
Mm.
itself, you know? So I was doing my first lesson, and I mean, I'm mature and I'm a grown up now, right? So I can understand that it's not that I suck at it. It's just that mind body connection, the muscle
It's
memory
your
has
first
not,
class.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
hasn't been created yet, right?
Mm.
And so I was trying to organize the instructions, like move, your hand goes here, or your foot goes here, all of it. And I was getting kind of like confused trying to hold it all together in my head. And the funny thing is, the coach kept saying, don't think about it. Don't
Mm.
overthink it. Let your
Wow.
body, just hit. Let your body just because he showed me how to do it a couple of times. We practiced. So in his head, the
She
muscle
knows.
memory is
Yeah,
starting
yeah,
to
yeah,
build. So
yeah.
he's like, don't think about it. Just swing. Just hit. Backhand, forward. Is it called forward hand? Anyways, back, front, back. And it was so fast you couldn't think. And I started to hit consistently and better when I stopped thinking about it. So
Wow.
I'm sharing this example because that's what life is, right? If you have to overthink every step, and if you have to stress about every choice you make, that's not soul aligned. Soul
Mm.
aligned is you don't even really have to ask yourself. You just trust your gut and you do it. You just follow the
And it
path.
feels joyful. I'm
It feels
sure when you
joyful.
were doing that, it was fun, it was happy, it
Yeah.
was joyful, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like flow, and I was like, oh my
Mm.
God, I can actually buy that skirt soon, because I
Not the
might never
tennis
be
racket yet, the skirt.
the skirt first. I actually did, because the tennis racket, I'm like, I have
It
to figure
costs,
out what
yeah.
what are the
Pick which
things that I need to
one.
look
Yeah,
at. I used to
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
chat GPT, what do I need to, evaluate or
Yeah,
check
of
out when
course.
buying a
Of course.
racket
The
or
skirt
skirt?
is easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with the easy
Beautiful.
decisions first.
I love it.
Anyways, in summary, right? A soul aligned life feels great. It doesn't
Purposeful.
come peaceful, beautiful, like it doesn't come
Purposeful, right?
purposeful, right? It doesn't
Mm.
come without its share of
There's
challenges.
growth.
There's
Yeah, for
growth,
sure.
right? And you do have to continue to,
Mm.
remove the barriers, as we talked about, as Rumi said, the barriers of
Expansion, right?
expansion.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And when you live that life, it was as you described, it will feel so meaningful. It will feel so fulfilling. It would feel like,
You're
yeah,
contributing, right? To,
yeah,
hey, we
beautiful.
have a question. So I'm gonna do pick up a card while you answer the question.
Okay, so Sarika says, hello, can you talk about the concept of time? When you're following your soul purpose alignment versus like feeling like you're running out of time. So the running out of time is a pressure, right? So whenever you're under pressure, you aren't making soul aligned choices. Right? And I see this a lot when I'm working with women who are single and they feel like they're growing older, the biological clock is ticking, having kids, all of this is pressure. So now when they're making choices, it's coming from a sense of pressure and not because it feels aligned or it feels like it's coming from their heart. So you need to remove all the pressure, and running out of time is one of those biggest pressures that you need to remove and release. um, When it comes to purpose, soul alignment, I don't believe time is as much a factor, as in whether it happens today or tomorrow or you get there in a year, you're going to get there anyway, right? And it isn't about how much time it takes because, all the time collapses. I don't want to get too, quantum physics on you guys, but the idea is when you reach the point where you feel like I'm living my purpose, it doesn't matter if it took you 1 year, 2 years, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days, right? All that matters is now in the present moment that I am living in that alignment, in that sense of purpose. So how long it took is not relevant, right? That's just the pressure you're putting on yourself right now where you are because you're not where you want to be. And that goes back to another concept I like to share, which is the gap in the gain. You're in the gap, right? I am not where I want to be, so I'm in the gap. But if you look back at how far you've come, you're in the gain because you're
Mm.
always ahead of where you started.
I was
So
going to use my example, right? When I look back, I was like, wow, it's been 12 years, right? But because I'm in the game, didn't feel like that long, right, of a
yeah,
time.
yeah, beautiful.
So thank you for that question, Sarika. Um, our card is another interesting card that I pulled out. Cleanliness.
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 Okay.
Okay, hang on. Let me get the
Is
book
this
because
pure? Is this purity of thought? Is this cleanliness of the mind, of the thought? Okay. Let me know what the book
cleanliness.
says.
Okay.
First thing that comes to mind is it like the cleansing of the negative thoughts and negative energy and just trying to keep your mind as clean and clear as possible for the purpose to set in. Okay, let's see.
The virtue of cleanliness. Okay, so what is the virtue of cleanliness? Is our thoughts should be free from being ruled by impure vices, and the state of our surroundings should be kept clean. When your body is clean, the mind thinks clear. Your environment at home is a reflection of you. So if you want abundance, clear your home of anything you don't need. If cleanliness has entered your cards today, it signifies you have freed your mind and environment of enough clutter, or you are inspired to do so. Now is the time to create and manifest with clarity and love. So it is very, very apt to our topic.
Yes, and you know what I think, Maisha? I think that the point of this virtue card is that if you can't control your mind and your thoughts, why don't you start by cleaning up the clutter around you? Clean your environment,
Mm,
clean your body, like
those
detox
are
your
the action
body,
steps you can
right?
take.
Do it the other way around. Sometimes it's hard to do it inside out for some reason. You're feeling
Mm,
really stuck. Well, one of the ways to loosen up some of that energy and flow is start cleaning around you, Clean your house, clean your room, clean your space, clean your mind, clean your body, detox. Do those things and you'll find it easier to get clarity about
the brain fog disappears
the
then.
brain fog disappears. They cut the sugar too, right?
Yeah.
But then that brain fog and that confusion,
Yeah.
it disappears, and maybe a lot of that pressure too
Yeah. Yeah.
disappears. So
I
keep
like that.
keep the outside clean, and you will find more peace on the inside as well.
And
Sometimes,
of course, please do connect with me for an emotional breakthrough session, right? If you do want to have a little bit more cleaned up or clarity on what is really soul aligned for you.
yeah, I love that. Beautiful. All
Cool.
right, and there was another great chat.
And no technical issues this time. Yay.
let's not preempt until
Jinx it. No, no,
this
cancel,
goes
cancel,
up
cancel.
on our feed, you know.
I can see it. I can see it going up already. All right. Have a lovely
Lots
evening,
of
guys.
love.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you. See you next week on
See
Theta
you next
Talks.
week.
Same time.
Bye.
Bye.